Is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 worth upgrading to? First things first, I just want to say a huge thank you to Xbox for giving me a code to review the game. And to start off our journey, let's start it through some turbulence. At launch, there was a lot of issues, with fortunately now most of them being fixed. However, considering the price of some of these additions, it definitely wasn't the best of starts for the Asobo and Xbox teams. My big issue though is pretty major, and this is mainly due to the fact that the game has to have a constant online connection. And this is because the game uses data streaming from the cloud, and unfortunately this is where the kicker is. When everything loads, the game looks absolutely breathtaking and really leaves you loving flying high in the skies as you travel around the world. But for the majority of my experience, the world struggles to load in high quality textures, which ends up making the game look like Google Maps 3D viewer. The planes feel absolutely great to control and use on the Xbox controller, but at the same time, they've changed some of the binds compared to the 2020 version that makes it feel more difficult to get used to at first. However, the helicopters are a completely different matter. Not sure if it's just me, but the controllers feel absolutely horrific to use and I've really struggled to control and use them in the game. One thing that I do really appreciate and love though is the career mode. It's a really nice refresher for both players who haven't played in a while like myself, and for those new pilots looking to jump into the world of Flight Simulator. It's a really nice addition to the game and one I've really appreciated. I also like the ability to leave the plane. Even though the whole point of Flight Simulator is to just fly, I really do like that you can just leave your plane whenever you want and happily take a stroll, even if it doesn't make sense like jumping into water. Now going back to the helicopter, it made one of the most exciting modes for me originally into a real difficult struggle, and this goes to the world photography mode. I tried so long to get used to these controls, but I kept crashing every time I tried to land. Then again, this could just be down to more of my lack of experience flying with helicopters than the game itself. And another big issue for me in free flight mode is the optimization. The game really does seemingly take a beating when the frame rate goes from quite consistently smooth to suddenly struggling out of nowhere. I'm a huge fan of Flight Simulator ever since my dad handed me over his 2004 edition of the game, and when they announced the 2020 version, I was hyped alongside this one. However, from my time playing the game, I can see the potential that the game has in continuing to grow and excel this latest iteration to new heights, but all these issues really keep this game's flight grounded until further notice. The game has potential, and all the new features implemented in are genuinely amazing and have a proper refreshing look for Flight Simulator, but in the meantime, there are still a lot of issues that need ironing out for those who are thinking of taking off in Flight Simulator 2024.